Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, another big show coming your way tonight. There's been some more big tuna taken out from Western Port this week. We take a look at fishing sunglasses tonight as the days get longer and the sun gets brighter. We give you all the info for a free Kids Come Try Fishing Day in 2 weeks' time, and we debate mono versus braid. All that and more, so let's get into it with a big welcome to the man who travels by kayak, Adam Ring. Welcome, Ads.
Thanks, Dave. And these bluefin offshore, oh my God.
Oh, is it the biggest thing?
It's phenomenal.
Is it?
It is phenomenal.
It is the biggest thing, I
and
tell you.
It's so good. It is
still
so
there.
good.
Who knows how long? Who knows how long they'll be, but it is the biggest thing. And would you believe Trelly is still on holidays from his holidays? And he's with us here tonight on Talking Fishing. Welcome, Trelly.
No, thank you very much. Well, it's a tough gig to come back and be on holiday.
No, that's... Was he here last week? He was here last week. Yeah, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
First time this year, 2 weeks in a row, Trelly. So, no, people starting to write in. I can tell you. I've got some mail coming up later on. I can tell you that people are starting to write in. A little sniff of spring, boys. 20 degrees today. I think it got to
tomorrow.
That. Warm tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Snow on the Dandenongs on Friday.
We can't go all out straight away.
Who would want to be anywhere else
straight
than Melbourne? But in all honesty, the fishing's just sensational. The whiting are on, some small catches of snapper, but they're big snapper.
Yep.
And also the tuna.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
We'll have a look at one in Catch of the Week because we have to share it around a bit.
And it's phenomenal.
There's only been a couple caught that I know of. And some pretty ordinary photos. I mean, I saw one hanging from a tree at Stony Point, so very hard to put that one up on the show. But, reports of another bigger one that got weighed properly and others. So who knows how big it is. There's reports, I was talking to someone today about outside of Port Phillip Heads, a couple have been hooked but none caught. So, how long is it going to last?
Well, it was October last year is when this happened. The bluefin started going on offshore from us. So, I don't know, history says this could go on for another 6 weeks, but on average at the moment, we're hearing of at least one or two fish hooked at least a day. Now,
Scotty Harper from the shop went out yesterday and didn't find any. He's found a couple of small patches of bait.
Yeah. The bait has spread out. That's one thing we're hearing a lot of from a lot of anglers going out there, that the bait has broken up into smaller balls, so it's getting a bit harder to find.
And that's the thing, people go out and they just want to see a bit of bait action, the birds, the dolphins, the seals on a bait ball, and that's where they're going to find the tuna underneath. Right. So that's your indication. There's no GPS marks, it's just head out. Yep. And of course, Scotty come back a bit battered today. He said, I feel like I just played in a preliminary final for Richmond. Well, he should have been quite fit then because they're not doing too good. But he looked a bit battered because he'd been out on the sea all day.
And we haven't had calm conditions, so you would take a bit of a beating out there. But
it's hard work. It
is hard work.
Oh, but imagine they're just going out of Stony Point or Hastings.
And when you see the size of some of the fish, we've got one coming up in Catch of the Week.
Let's get into it, boys. Let's have a look at what's being caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano, providing reliable, trustworthy, quality fishing gear for your enjoyment.
And not everybody has turned their hand to snapper quite yet, but young Crystal Buttigieg. She decided to take her dad out fishing on Father's Day and off St Kilda landed this beautiful 8.3 kilo snapper. So well done to Crystal. That's a cracker of a fish.
For those that haven't thought about snapper yet, I bet you they are now. Look at that. That is a massive, massive slab of snapper.
Well, you can see, the Melbourne skyline in the background. They're not too far away because they're off St Kilda. And to see a fish like that, an 8.3 kilo this early in the season,
that's
not sensational.
The most immaculate looking 8.3 3 kilo snapper you've ever seen. They normally get a bit weathered at that size, but that's a beautiful looking fish.
Absolutely, it looks nice and fresh. Bit of blue on the end of the fins, and very, very nice looking fish. So,
great photo too.
Andrew Shortis, he has also been fishing for snapper. He was over in Western Port and landed this beautiful model off Coronella. So, you know, both bays equally producing some nice size snapper. Not big numbers like we said earlier, but certainly some quality.
Coronella is going to go off this season. I can feel it.
Yeah.
That's going to be my tip.
I think Crystal beat him.
Yeah, I think Crystal beat him.
He didn't have the size in that one, but I reckon Crystal beat him.
I think so too. Let's get on to the topic we were just talking about before, and this is a cracker of a fish. Nigel Akan, I think I've pronounced that right. Now, this one, Nigel did write to me this morning and he said, look, we aren't sure about the scales. It's obviously a big fish.
Yeah, it is a very
We're
big
not sure how accurate the scales are, but Nigel and 2 of his mates set out and headed out through, you know, the western entrance there, and what a cracker of a fish. In anyone's language, regardless of the weight.
It doesn't matter where you go in the world, if you catch a fish of that size, let alone in your home waters, which is not a common catch, that is out of control. That is big.
That's a big fish.
There's a couple of other photos doing the social media rounds, and the smile on these 3 young men's faces
rightly so.
to catch a fish like that in your local waters.
Exactly.
It's just, you know, probably a fish of a lifetime.
It's big time.
Whether, you know, who knows? I mean, obviously, you know, Victorians have cottoned on, and, you know, Melburnians have cottoned on that there's tuna at a certain time of year outside of Western Port or Port Phillip. But, you know, is it going to last forever? Is it going to last next year, year after? Is it going to go for the next decade or whatever? You know, and just there, you'd have to say that, you know, Nigel and his mates have got a fish of a lifetime, and never to be repeated, perhaps.
That's right, and even more reason to take advantage of it while we can. Offshore is a relatively unknown entity for us in Victoria because in the past we just haven't needed to go out there.
That's right.
Get out there and have a look.
You don't need all technical gear. We're all doing it visual with the birds.
That's right.
Yeah,
great.
Let's head out to the regions now, and there's some cracker fish around as well out in the regional areas like Lake Tyers. Christian Koulas, I think you say it, Koulas, a lovely 40 centimetre brim down at Lake Tyers. You don't sneeze at a 40 centimetre. Christian wrote in, he said, I'm 11 years old. Last week, Dad's fishing club, the Hookers Fishing Club from Ashburton, had a brim comp at Lake Tyers. About 40 people fished, both land-based and boats. Not many fish caught, but I landed the winning fish. It was 40 centimetres and weighed 1.29 kilos. Thank you very much. After weighing it in, my dad said it was up to me to decide whether I was going to keep it. Being a big fish and a breeder, I decided to release it. Dad was very proud of my decision. Most of the guys in the club encourage catch and release. P.S. Great show, we love it. Well, thank you very much, Christian. And
how old do you reckon that fish would be?
That's an old fish.
Yeah, probably as old as Christian.
About 25.
I was going to say it'd be 20 to 25 years old. Very slow growing fish. So great choice, Christian. And that fish had been in a really, really good paddock.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful condition fish.
Yeah. 1.29 kilos, so pretty good. So
great fish.
Well done, Christian, and good decision on letting that go, because it's a memorable moment and something that you should be very, very proud of. Let's head up to Lake Eildon now, as we're just talking about Lake Eildon cod. It just keeps going and going. This one here, 80 centimetres, caught by Brent Gorno. Well done, Brent. Looks like is that a deep diver there, Charlie? My eyes aren't that good, but
I think looks like a plastic actually, or a
it does look like a plastic.
or a bibless vibe. I just can't quite make it out.
It does look like a bit like a vibe or something. So well done, Brent.
But
nice catch. Yeah. And also, it's not the only native species up in Eildon, is it?
No.
Michael Richter. He landed a beautiful 51 centimetre yellow belly in Lake Eildon. That's a cracker of a fish too. So
that's a nice fish.
And Michael went fishing with his dad, I think, Lindsay, for Father's Day. So a couple of nice Father's Day stories there.
Well done, Michael.
Have to be pretty.
You'll see those yellow belly now to Melbourne Cup.
I was going to I was going to say, when can we expect a run of yellow belly? We don't see too many during winter, but I've noticed the last week there's been a few caught, and they've all been huge, by the way. That's going to start to happen.
That'll start to happen, and if we see a repeat with the rising water like it did about eight years ago, you get schools of a big yellow belly like that coming up. They're even having a go at props on boats.
Is that right? Michael actually wrote in his little email to us that he actually saw the fish come from under the timber to hit his
that's awesome.
his lure. So that's pretty good. If like Michael, if you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au.
And coming up on Talking Fishing Product of the Week, and we tell you about a free Kids Come Try Fishing Day on next Saturday, right after this.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See you down at Tackle World today.
Product of the Week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing.
Time for Catch of the Week, and as we said earlier on, the days are getting longer, the sun is getting higher in the sky, and it's time to put the sunglasses on, Ads.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. I won't repeat Catch of the Week, but we might get straight into Product of the Week. I've got a little bit excited by the sun this week, so I thought I'd jump straight into some of the new and exciting frames that Spotters Sunglasses have put out for the upcoming season. These are the newest ones. Now, these are the Spotters Rebel. These are going to be huge because they are almost a modern take on the old Ray-Ban style, which I know has come back into fashion. They come in all of the usual lenses you can get. So everything from grey through to emerald through to a really, high contrasted penetrator lens. These are going to be huge. Now, Charlie, just pop them on your mug for us. So these have been very well received. They haven't been out for long, but we're finding we're getting that demographic of a few of the younger boys are getting stuck into these, and I know Dave,
I've got
you've
mine
been
on.
sporting yours recently too.
Yeah, no, I've got the gold on. I love my gold, and I don't know how good they show up the mirror finish in the TV studio, but
They're certainly fashion.
So and listen, the reason
they're a bit of a lifestyle
that's
glass.
right, and the reason I'm a big fan is because I can't fish too well, so I may as well look good while I'm doing it. So I'll be getting a pair of them really shortly.
Yeah.
The next set have been out on the market for a little bit, but these are the Spotters Grit. Now, if you've got an enormous melon, these are the sunglasses for you. They're a very, very big-eyed lens. Again, very much in tune with that Ray-Ban style, which is all the rage at the moment. Now, they make these in both a matte and a gloss frame. So the options are endless with these things, but Charlie, put them on because I reckon they're just going to about dwarf.
I reckon these are.
Charlie's got a big head. He's got a big head.
I reckon these are just going to cover my big bug eyes. Look at that.
They said they are.
No more bug eyes for me.
They are a really big. You look like Elvis. You got a rock star going on.
They're a bit tight.
They are. They are a big set of glasses. So I know there's always been a bit of a hole in the market for big glasses like these, and so Spotters have jumped in and will swoop up that market because, again, very stylish, but also in all your fishing lenses, so you can stay active and make sure you know where those weed patches are or those snags coming up in some of your local estuaries. So that's the Spotters Grit. Now, if you really like that frame, but you've got a pretty small head, these are for you. These are the smaller brother or sister to the Grit, called the Grit Junior. Again, very much in exactly the same vein as the Grit we looked at before, but in a smaller model. So for my my pinhead, they fit quite well. Again, a hell of a lot thinner through the arms. A lot smaller in the actual eyes, and I'm not going to lie, I thought these were kids' glasses when I saw them being a Grit Junior, but they're not. So,
but kids could wear those.
Kids could wear them because they are a smaller.
Yeah, if you're going to look
glasses.
at some of the ranges of sunglasses, and some of them don't suit kids, but if there was one that does really well for kids, that'd be the one.
That'd be the one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So get into them; they're good. Now the Spotters Combat goes back to our more of our Arnie wraparound style Terminator 2 action. Great set of glasses, full coverage. These are your hardcore fishing glasses to stop every single bit of glare coming in through the sides. This is exactly what you need. And I must admit, quite a comfortable pair too. On the arms, they've got that little piece that wraps behind your ear. You can wear them all day with no headaches, no digging in. They're an absolute ripper. So Charlie, pop them on.
These are actually good also at speed in the boat. So not on speed, at speed in the boat. When you turn around, they don't catch and they go
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Trelly.
So yeah, so that's why
right.
that wrap and that it sort of covers.
Trelly, you should be a spotter's engineer.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Now,
No,
Dave,
seriously.
you've got an interesting lens there, so run us through that.
Well, that's why I brought them in, and I don't want to interrupt your great spiel on spotted sunglasses, but these are. Well, I don't know if they're a new lens, but they're just one that they don't do a lot of.
Yeah.
It's called the Extreme. They're actually the old school yellow lens. So
the fly fisherman's best friend.
I went up the Delatite on the weekend, and it was dark and miserable and all that. These are the glasses you want. They actually light up a very dull day. And if you haven't had a look at these glasses, because I always say, you probably should have two pairs of glasses. Yep. One for a sunny day, which might be your blue. I love my gold mirror.
Yep.
But if you haven't got a pair like this, and look, the penetrator or the halide are good as well.
Yep.
But I just reckon for a really, really dull, these are just fantastic. Extreme. Remember the colour of the lens?
They're a specialty
bit of yellow.
lens.
Look like a nightclub one.
Yeah.
And you can wear them when it's raining or like driving. They're fantastic. So there you go.
Now, there has been a massive swing in our market with the female fishers getting involved, and it is unbelievable to see, and spotters have not forgotten about you. These are the Spotters Ava, as you can see, very much in tune with the latest fashion trends, which I know absolutely nothing about, but I'm sure all the women will love them. They come in all the lenses that we've spoken about, whether it's a grey glass for your offshore or bay conditions. This one here is a halide, so your more freshwater or overgrown areas. Come on, Charlie, pop them on.
No, I know Mary's got a set of glasses like this.
They suit you, Charlie.
Really,
they suit you.
And she paid a packet for them, right?
They're
But
the
I
ones.
reckon these. I reckon I'm going to get her a pair of these because they look better.
So they're the old flies on.
Do you know what I like about those?
What?
They match your lipstick.
Now,
Thanks.
Dave, before I wrap this up,
Yeah.
I've got a cheeky number 6, which I just threw in before the show. Kev, hit the graphic for us there, mate. That strapping young lad on the screen right now is Jason. Now, he's our spotter's rep.
He's the designer of the next pair, isn't he?
Now, I've got the inside word that Jace is working on a pair of sunglasses for him called Spotter's Perfection.
He's the man.
He's the man. You
Jason's the man.
see him cruising around town, visiting on all the little retailers that sell spotters.
Yep.
He's got swagger.
Yeah.
Well,
And he's working on the perfect pair of sunglasses. So keep an eye. They may or may not ever hit the market because some things can be too perfect for the general public. And if anyone's going to come up with it, it's going to be Jace. Yeah. But keep an eye. I'll keep you updated as I get more updates from him.
Oh, the LB2 ones.
Spotter's Perfection, Charlie. Watch out for it. Good on you, Jace.
Oh, there you go. Well done, lads. And a great range there. I tell
It's
you
growing and growing.
Just keeps getting better.
Goals.
Just when you think it can't get better in sunglasses, it just keeps getting better. Boys, I want to change the subject and talk about a little event that we've got on. Sorry, not this Saturday or next Saturday. It's the one after. So it's Casey Fields Kids Come Try Fishing Day. It's on at Casey Fields Lake in Cranbourne, and it's on Saturday the 17th of September, which is not this Saturday but next. All children 12 years and under are welcome. All children must be registered to participate. Children must be accompanied by an adult. You'll get free tuition by Paul Worstling. He'll be there for every single child. Free rod and reel to take home. That's right, you get it for free and you get to take it home. That's the kids, that is. Expert assistance by Pro Staff While Fishing, and there's limited spaces. It's for 300 children. What you need to do is book. Make sure you get your spot reserved. Call Tackwell Cranbourne from 8 a.m. in the morning on 59966500. 59966500 and register your place. Now, the way the day will work, boys, is in waves of 30 kids at a time.
Yep.
10 groups, 300 kids are going to be just going home with a nice little rod and reel and hopefully a nice rainbow trout, because that fishery is just magnificent. Holds about 500 fish and they'll be put in just before the event. So just going to be a great day. Get onto it and make sure you book your spot. If you've got young kids, and it might be a cousin, might be a neighbour, or whatever, you just young kids, get them along there, 12 years and under, but you must book. All right, boys, I want to talk a little bit about, it was the Trout opening on Saturday.
Yep.
Tough weekend. I went up to the Delatite. Good couple of hours run up there, and I got up there and the river was running high and dirty and it was hard. Didn't even see a fish.
Yeah.
Very tough this time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, we had a bit of rain go through just recently, and that's dirtied that water up, so
and
that makes it tough.
Nuji was pretty similar. I know I've got a few mates that travelled up to Nuji for the opening, and It was running hard.
Well, Gippsland's probably copped it more than that northeast,
Correct.
haven't they?
It's running real hard.
Yeah.
I come over to Seymour, the Goulburn at Seymour, and it was running dirty there, which tells you that from Eildon downstream to it'll be dirty.
Yeah, there you go. I was talking to Rodney from Tassie Tackle World, Burnie, and he said they've had probably the best opening to trout season on record. He said all their lakes, bar 2, I think, in the whole state, are at 100%.
Wow.
He said it was only a few months ago that they were turning on diesel generators to help with power.
Exactly.
Because they didn't have the water to generate power.
Wow.
Now they're all full.
So imagine all that new country that's covered with water for the trout.
Yeah. So one of the best, if you're heading to Tassie, one of the best starts to trout opening, and he just said the numbers of fish and the size of fish are just absolutely sensational. When it's like that, boys, give us a hint. What's the best method if you want to try and catch a fish in those dirty and higher running waters?
I think you almost got to go back to your old bait fishing. We all love the lures and we get a bit carried away, but you can't beat a live bait for trout in these fast running rivers because you get scent, whether it's a scrub worm or whether it's a mud eye or a little bunch of maggots on a hook. Just fish the runs, cast them up nice and high. Little bait runners are perfect for it because you can control the line coming off the reel. Back to basics for sure when it's like this.
Even on those little quill floats, the ones that lie down, offer a little bit of weight. And then when they sort of come on a bite, you'll see them pop up, then they come down again. I mean, it was something that was done years ago at your lakes and Newcombe Beans and Dartmouth. But again, fish those little floats and things because they'll be looking for bait.
And just because it's running fast and dirty doesn't mean the fish aren't there.
No, they'll be there.
The conditions are just harder for us to fish. So I think
and it's probably clear in the bottom.
That's right.
And the dirty patches on the top. Old school, you used to hear about people using saltwater mussels as bait. So anything with that lot of scent in it will really attract the fish. So
I'd be going back to that for sure.
Lure wise, is it if you've only got lures, you haven't got bait, would you use a certain colour lure?
Yeah, gold. And go to those again, the old school lures, the spinners, the wobblers. Any of those highly reflective lures are going to be the ones because they're easy to work. They won't get swept up, and the actions will be smothered by the fast running water, which most of your bibbed minnows will be. Go back to those old school flashy numbers, and that's going to get your strikes.
That's right. Or even the little selters. There's a black lacquer selter with a copper blade, but black on top. It just silhouettes in the water. That type of thing is always a great one.
There you go, some hints, because I'm tipping that the rain's not going away with 20 or 30 mil forecast and a bit of snow on Friday. So plenty of tips there for some dirty water, fast water action. Up next, fisheries news, including a couple who stashed their undersized flathead in their car. Then they told fisheries they locked their keys in the car. Idiots. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
Couple of interesting stories, boys, in the news this week.
Good.
Let's kick it off with some exciting news that I know we've spoken about this before, but Lake Eildon stays open for springtime Murray cod. That's the headline. The 3-month closed season for Murray cod fishing will not apply to Lake Eildon this spring. Fisheries Victoria Executive Director Travis Dowling said this was the first year that fishers could target and keep Murray cod from Lake Eildon during September, October and November. How fantastic is that, boys?
That's really, really good news because they all go quiet. Now they've got somewhere to go and chase some cod.
Exactly right.
That's absolutely fantastic. He went on to say the Murray cod closed season remains in place in all other Victorian waters. Research found that 99.6% exactly of Murray cod in Lake Eildon were stocked fish. If Lake Eildon's Murray cod are not breeding, it makes no sense to protect them unnecessarily with a closed season, especially when it limits fishing opportunities during spring. And this is the big thing, boys, is that if there's no reason to limit the fishing, bring it on.
Yeah,
Target
exactly.
1 million.
Yeah.
Yep.
They want people out fishing, and if you're out there enjoying Murray cod because there's no reason to protect them, then why wouldn't you be
Exactly
out there
right.
enjoying it?
But a good result for good research.
Yeah,
that's right.
exactly. And it concludes other Victorian fishing regulations for Murray cod remain unchanged, including the slot limit introduced in 2014 of 55 to 75 centimetres, the bag limit of 1 Murray cod in rivers, and the bag limit of 2 in lakes. And obviously you can't take any in rivers now, Trelly, so it's a bag limit of 2 in Lake Eildon.
Yep.
Yes.
And they've got to be within that slot limit.
That's
They're
right.
too small, you throw them back.
You throw them back.
They're too big, you throw them back.
You throw them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in the middle, you throw them in.
Do you bleed cod when you catch them?
No, don't actually.
No.
No, you can, but yeah, just
No need to.
Yeah, you just don't need to. No.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. This is a cracker. Let's have a look at this one. This was actually from Facebook, not a media release, but a 55-year-old man and a 45-year-old woman from Meadow Heights will be summoned to appear in the Geelong Magistrates Court. Are you 55? John? No.
I was waiting for a photo to come up.
for allegedly taking 46 flathead, 30 of which were undersized. A phone call to 13 Fish yesterday alerted, this was from the day before, fisheries officers to the couple fishing on Cunningham Pier in Geelong, where they were observed taking a bucket of undersized flathead back to their vehicle.
Well, it's funny, like Cunningham Pier's right in the middle
Of Geelong?
Yeah. And it's funny you say it because we've had guys in the shop down there saying during the last couple of weeks, there's guys down there fishing, they're taking all these things. It's good to see that someone's actually been caught doing
And
that.
isn't it good that as a result of a 13 Fish call that actually got responded to? Because a lot of the time they can't respond straight away. It's they collect the data.
Yes.
But it's good. When officers asked to search the vehicle, the couple claimed to have locked the keys in the car. When carrying out the duties, fisheries officers have the power to search any vehicle in connection with a person's fishing activities. Officers located 46 flathead in the boot of the vehicle, 30 of which were smaller than the minimum size. There you go. There's a pic on the screen there. Charlie, if you'd observed people taking that many fish, and they go and put them in their car, and then they claim to have locked the keys in the car. Now, I want your honest opinion, right? And you can be politically incorrect. How would you open their car? How would you open their car to get their keys out?
Brick.
That's why Charlie will never be a fisheries officer. To catch the... I'll get back onto this too. Penalties relating to taking undersized fish carry fines of up to $3,100. Hindering an authorised officer can result in fines of up to $18,600 or 12 months in jail. And it is okay to open your car with a brick if you claim to have locked your keys in it. Oh dear, Charlie, I tell you what, some of the things we get. Anyway, that's a bit of news.
I'd like to be an officer sometimes.
What would you do if you were an officer? Like, where would you hang out? Where would you like to be? What region of Victoria?
You couldn't imagine the gear I could get away with putting on then and just be legitimate. And, pose as someone normal or unnormal to catch people. I just like the stories, like when they come up and they've stuffed it down their pants or they've put it in their helmet or they've stuck it to the lid of their motor. It's just it's unreal they put some stuff. It's just,
you'd have to carry a lot of bricks.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. Don't forget, this program is streamed live on the internet and you can keep up to date with all the info from tonight on our Facebook page with Catch of the Week, Hotspots and much more. Don't forget to like our page. Did you know that this show is repeated every Thursday and Saturday mornings right here on C31? Just check the program guide for more details. And every episode is posted to our YouTube channel. You'll find the correct links to Facebook, YouTube and live streaming on our website, talkingfishing.com.au. There you go, boys. So it is great to see our officers. At the 4x4 show, I don't think I mentioned this, but I think we might have had a media release a few weeks ago, but at the 4x4 show, one of the new recruits come and introduced himself.
Oh, yes.
He was from Horsham, born and bred, and just the loveliest guy, And when you see, I guess the pinnacle of, there were 700 applicants for 9 jobs. Yep. And when you see the type of person that gets that sort of job, they're just, they're the right people. Certainly a recruiting process for that type of job. They just got it right, and you see those guys come through the system, and the training that goes into them, it's absolutely sensational. From undercover work, how to wear false moustaches, how to appear in court, how to write briefs, all that stuff.
How to paint on a really realistic scar on your face.
How to throw bricks. No, but in all seriousness, he was just a lovely guy. I mean, do you have fisheries officers stationed at Shepparton?
Yeah, we've got a couple up at Tatura, and again, they've got to be. You got to be good with public. You got to see both sides of the story, and extract the information that you have to without sort of being invasive, and use that in the correct manner. They do walk a pretty fine line sometimes.
Well, they've actually got probably more powers than the police in some ways. They can confiscate all those hoon laws these days, but confiscate boats, fishing gear, cars. It's pretty serious stuff.
Search your car straight away, do all that sort of stuff.
I guess the thing is, in the old days, they used to carry guns, didn't they?
That's correct, yeah. Yeah, pistol, I've still got one. Yeah.
the scary thing is he's actually being fair dinkum. And so I guess that was probably a bit of a change. Well, in fact, next time we get a fisheries officer, we'll try and get one in before the end of the season. Let's ask them about those days. I'm sure Rod Barber, who we had in here last year, was probably around in the days when they did carry guns. But I know you hear some of the stories about they do come across people that obviously fishermen have got knives, and they'd cop it pretty rough.
Them days I used to deal with also the duck hunter, and things like that. But nowadays, if they think there's a gun involved, they've got to get the police. They can't attend a scene where they believe there's a firearm there.
Unless they've got bricks. Is that right? Up next, Kramer's Mailbag, and we debate monofilament versus braid right after this on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Make mine a Mornington.
G'day, David Kramer here. I'm a massive fan of the Mazda BT50, having personally driven and owned one for more than 5 years now. And to tell you what, you can't beat them for an all-round great ute and a great tow vehicle. Get into Mornington Mazda before the end of the month and grab yourself a run-out bargain. I made mine a Mornington Mazda.
Make mine a Mornington Mazda.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
A little bit of mailbag this week, folks, and we'll kick it off with one that you might need to interpret for me a little bit, Trelly, in the third paragraph here. Hi, David, Adam, and if he's not on holidays, Trelly. I would like to raise the issue of behaviour by some fishermen around our piers. This is from
who's this
Ron
from?
Smart.
Ronnie Smart.
Ron. On a recent boating trip to Rill, I attempted to dock at the local pier so my wife and 3 daughters could get a coffee and something to eat. As I did not wish to block the ramp pier, I used the main pier, as I have done for years. Doing the right thing, Ron? When I approached the pier, I noticed several people fishing off the platform. I politely, and I stress politely, asked if they could retrieve their gear so I could dock. I was met with the response of, it's blanked it out, but F-O are the words. Yeah.
Forward on.
Fenders off.
Fenders off.
Anyway, having had anger management issues in the past, I haven't vetted this. Let's see where it leads. I chose to leave and not get confrontational and let it ruin an otherwise perfect day on the water.
Well played.
Being lucky enough to own a boat, I realised that some land-based people can get possessive of their limited fishing spots. However, this behaviour should not be seen as okay, especially around children. These people need to stand back and look at themselves and their behaviour. I am sure that in other areas of the community this would not be tolerated. And so true. If they need help reading the clearly positioned signs on the pier that state that lines should be taken in when a vessel approaches, I'm willing to help them with their reading and comprehension skills.
Yes.
And Ron, seriously, when guys, they don't own the world.
No, that's right.
They don't own piers and that, and it's just a little bit of respect to people. On another note, how about including a boat ramp hotspot in your hotspot segment based on social media and customer feedback? This could indicate which ramps people would most likely to use on the upcoming weekend, i.e. Hastings boat ramp this weekend as people target tuna. Who would have thought that 5 years ago? Would you have associated tuna with Hastings?
Not at all.
As people target tuna. So, for example, if I was targeting squid, I'd be better off going to Warneat. Very good idea, Ron.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Thank
Could
you
be the anger spot
very
instead of
much.
the hot spot.
Just don't go to Rick.
And take your angry management
Actually,
tools.
if he went down to Warneat, we could probably get some people fishing off Warneat Jetty and not let him tie up.
Yeah,
couldn't we?
that's right, not let him
we'd
in.
Stage that. Thanks, Ron. This one, Aaron Morgan adds, you may be able to answer this one. Hey guys, what do you think is the best universal freshwater soft plastic?
Universal freshwater. So we're talking yellow belly, trout, cod.
Yeah, I guess.
Whole lot.
What's the go-to if you're going to go
You
a soft plastic for freshwater?
go.
The T-tail minnow that we had on last week's show,
Okay.
that would
Oh, you
be,
did
in
too,
my
yeah.
eyes,
Yep.
the most versatile. Or if you don't have access to those, anything with a paddle tail,
There you go.
because you can get maximum work out of the tail with
Yep.
little effort. Any moving water is going to keep that tail moving. So the T-tail minnow, number one for me. But if you don't have access to that, anything with a paddle tail, so squidgy fish or gulp pogies or whatever you like, anything with a paddle tail. That'd be
There you
my
go.
number one.
Alrighty, next one, Luke Marchetti writes into us and he says, hey David, I live pretty close to Sugarloaf Reservoir and it is the only reservoir that's local that you can fish in. I was wondering why the fisheries don't stock it anymore. Every time I go, I always catch the same fish, redfin. It would be grouse if the fisheries could stock a variety of fish. So, Sugarloaf Reservoir.
Yeah, what's wrong with redfin?
Where's Sugarloaf
great.
Reservoir? I'm not that. I've heard of
I've
it,
heard
but
of
I
it.
actually
Yeah,
don't know where it is.
I don't know much about it, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Luke, I'll do you a
fish,
favour.
redfin.
I'll report back to you, not next week, but maybe the week after. Next week we're actually not here and it's pre-recorded, but in 2 weeks' time we'll report back to you. I'll talk to Fisheries about that one. Sugarloaf Reservoir, we'll have a look at why it isn't stocked and whether it was in the past. So there you go. If you'd like to write in to Kramer's Mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
And just another reminder to everybody, Casey Fields Kids Come Try Fishing Day. It will be held at Casey Fields Lake in Cranbourne on Saturday the 17th of September. All children 12 years and under are welcome. All children must be registered to participate. Children must be accompanied by an adult. Free tuition will be given by Paul Worsing to every child. Free rod and reel will be given to every child to take home. You'll get expert assistance by pro staff while fishing, and Adam just volunteered to come down and he's going to be one of the pro staff, and there's limited spaces, only 300 kids. So get in quick, 8 o'clock in the morning, book by calling Tackle World Cranbourne on 5996 6500 and book your spot. The way the day will work, boys, is that they're in groups of 30 kids. So if you get allocated 10 o'clock, don't come at 9 because you won't get in, because the 9 and the 9:30 will be doing their little classes with Paul in a group of 30. Then they'll be given to the pro staff and they'll be taken down to the lake and we'll bait their hooks and look after them. Hopefully they'll catch a rainbow trout, one of 500 that will be put in a couple of days before the event. So there you go, boys.
That day is going to be a cracker.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome.
It's our 8th event from the Future Fish Foundation. So it's pretty good.
Great
Good
initiative.
event. Yeah, there you go. Boys, I want to open up a bit of a debate because I took a few of the boys fishing.
Yep.
You'll see some photos in next week's because I couldn't quite get them into Catch a Week this week. It was a bit full. Excuse me. But Callan fills in for you. Trolley on occasions on the couch there.
Yep.
He said to me, Dave, as soon as I get home, I'm changing all my whiting gear to mono. He said, I'm getting rid of the braid because you caught more fish on mono.
Yep.
Wanted to debate. Mono or braid? Ads, give us your thoughts on it.
Braid.
There you go.
And the only reason, reason, it's just my personal opinion. After fishing with braid for so long, to me, catching a fish on mono is like catching a fish with a rubber band.
Yeah.
I like to feel what it's doing.
But
there's a time and a place.
If you're tuna fishing, marlin fishing, you're not going to fish with braid. So talk about what are the specific species or styles of fishing that you would use braid.
Listen, I must admit, in all honesty, bait fishing is probably tailor-made for monofilament from a technical standpoint, because when fish get spooky, braid is your worst nightmare. Because if we can feel everything, so can they.
Yeah.
And also game fishing. So heavy applications or bait fishing, I think mono is crucial. Like I said, I would, not that I do much game fishing, but I would use mono. Bait fishing, I still use braid, and that's just a personal preference of mine because I've used it for so long, and I really do like to feel everything. But there is a massive, massive swing in the market of exactly like what you were saying, Dave. People who have used braid are now bait fishing for finicky fish like whiting and going back to mono. And I understand it and I get it. And if I was talking to a customer in a shop about it, I would almost be recommending it, because from a technical standpoint, that it is the way to go. But personally, I use braid.
Well, I think your mono has improved over the last 5 or 6 years, as opposed to probably what you talked mono 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's probably a point to take up too.
Trelly, come to you in a minute, but because I'd like to hear about native fish, whether it's braid versus mono. But one of the things that Callum was saying is that, you know, we were casting out at the same time, and when you didn't get a bite, and it was a red hot bite on the whiting down on the Mornington Peninsula, and when you didn't get a bite, you just tweaked the line a little bit, moved the bait, moved the sinker on the bottom just to get that little bit of disturbance. And the mono just gave a little bit of stretch, and I was having a hook up virtually every time I did that. Whereas the braid, it was so direct, and the fish missed the bait. And
well, that right there is the prime example why I think mono is better suited to bait fishing.
Yeah.
You had a red hot bite of whiting, and I mean red hot, like it was an unbelievable session. And yet the fish were still coming on mono. Normally in those sessions, you could put down anything and they'll eat it, but you were still finding the best results come on mono. And that is the ultimate test. That's almost better than trialing it on if you were going to get 2 fish for a day and they were both going to come on mono. That could be whatever. That could be luck. But on a red hot session where most of the fish are still coming on mono, you cannot argue with the stats. The proof was right there.
Trelly, for natives?
I think what you're talking about, like in the comparison, you've got to take into consideration the rod you're using.
Yep.
Because you'll find that braid, the guys who use braid and fish probably bait, are actually tending to sort of go back to a softer tipped rod. Yep. So as more so than like a graphite harder rod, because they tend to sort of bite, they hold on, then they let it go. So braid in combination with a harder tip rod tends to pull out their mouth. Same with lures a little bit. Yep. That's why you'll back off your drags. So the application is both different with saltwater and freshwater. Freshwater, we find if you want to troll a lure and you've got 30-pound braid, which is the same diameter as 8-pound mono, it'll cut through the water. And when you pick up the packet that says it dives 30 foot deep or 20 foot deep or 15 foot, it'll get down to that depth.
Yeah.
So whereas you've got a thicker mono, it'll hold it up in the water.
That's a great point.
Fishing for smaller lures that you want to get them deep, certainly braid, a little bit of tip of mono.
There you go. Great tips for braid versus mono. Coming up, this week's Hotspots, next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
G'day. Callan here from Paul Worslam's Tackle World Cranbourne. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start. I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for, Fishing Hotspots. Get on 'em, it's where the fish are.
You know, everyone that writes into us saying, where's Richie Minnow gone? Well, there he is. He was on your screen just then. So he's talking to me in his ear. Good old Richie, I tell you. Let's get into the hot spots. And while there might be a lot of undersized flathead, there's also a very good run of salmon on the Cunningham Pier in Geelong, let me tell you. So, Trelly, it's in your neck of the woods of Tackle World Geelong, and plenty of salmon coming off that pier at the moment.
Yeah, there is actually. And slugs.
Yep.
Just around about that sort of 3.5, 4 inches long.
Well, people can't see it at home.
I'm holding my hand up there. But
about the length of Richie Minnow on the screen there.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So, a good 9-foot rod. Yep. So you can get a really good cast. Make sure you've got a reasonably large spooled reel and fill a spool right up with line so it freely comes off. So you get a bit of distance out. So there you're covering more territory and you're in their strike zone longer. But yeah, it's some nice fish being caught there.
There you go. Another spot over on the western side of Port Phillip Bay is St Leonards. It's usually the capital of King George whiting, and it's certainly paying dividends right now. Plenty of whiting around St Leonards.
And there's not too many places in Port Phillip Bay where you can go at this time of year and struggle to get a spot. Any given day, any given good day, there's boats everywhere. And that is, in this case, not necessarily a bad thing because these whiting do spread themselves out over the winter. And you hit those little sand patches and there's some good fish there.
Seems to be a lot of west in the wind at the moment too, and it's a great place to fish on those westerlies, a little bit more protected. And one of the things about St Leonard's is you don't need to go far offshore. I mean, sure, there are some spots that, maybe out to that kilometre outside of the boat ramp, but you don't necessarily have to go that far to catch a King George whiting. So quite a great little spot. Let's talk snapper now because it is approaching snapper season, and over in Western Port there's been some good fish caught not far out of the Warnock Channel, boys.
Yeah, that's right. Again, one of those typical early season spots for snapper, and there'll be some big fish come from here in the next couple of weeks. There has been already. Not red hot, but stick it out, plenty trip around the tide changes and you're in with the best shot.
Certainly a little bit, like we're saying, Port Phillip, warmer water.
Correct.
Up that northern end of the bay, and Warnock's one of those places where you do get some nice warm water. Occasionally the fish don't turn left, they turn right as they come in the western entrance, and they head over towards the Coronella area, boys, and some lovely snapper coming from Coronella as well. I know a few people coming through the shop this morning heading down that way today.
Yep. And it'll be huge over the next few weekends too as we get closer to snapper season. Coronella will typically be one of those spots in Western Port that fires early and will just continue to go right throughout the snapper season. Great place to fish, very shallow, so it's quite active and it's quite exciting when you do get those big fish.
Baits type of?
The tide probably, the tide and how hard it runs there
you need a bit of weight.
Can give you the...
I had someone ring today and ask any mulloway reports. Is it that time of year?
It is that time of year, and mulloway are a tough one. Don't expect to hear many reports. Still, most of the guys will keep it very quiet. But if I was going to target one, it's exactly... And push it at night time, because it's quiet, and you'll catch these big fish in anywhere from 1 metre of water to 4 metres of water. You don't have to sit deep. Look for a bit of rubble on the bottom, and that's where the fish are going to be.
The next one, it's got people excited, and I know there hasn't been millions of fish coming in, but there certainly has been the odd one here and there, and that is the tuna that are outside of the western entrance, particularly off the Flinders Bank. There's no particular area, and I know we've written Flinders there, but what you've got to do is get out there, get amongst it, start in, say, about the 40 metre mark, and look for bait. There's nothing else that those tuna are hanging around other than bait schools. You'll see the bait schools being worked by seals, dolphins, boats, any activity, look for it and start trolling around those areas, and you've got every chance. And now, no one knows how long it's going to be. Is it going to be? Is it finished, or is it round for the next month?
Is it just started? Who knows? Who knows? But don't be afraid to work the same bait ball or same area with bait in it for hours. Those fish will be there. They're only coming across here. There's nothing on our coastline to keep them there but bait. So if the bait's there, the fish will turn up eventually. It's just a matter of when they want to switch on.
There you go. The other thing is, there was some barrels caught at Portland. I think Mitch Bertuccini got one last Friday. So, they're certainly around. And that is our next hotspot, is Portland. Get down there. Don't think that the tuna are all gone down there and they're all hanging off Flinders.
If anything, when it fired up here, it went harder at Portland. There's been multiple hookups a day per angler at Portland. We're getting very, very excited, and so we should be about fishing our home waters, but Portland is going off.
Far offshore at Portland?
Not at all.
They're a bit closer down.
Not at all.
25 metres of water trail.
Very close.
Yeah, half an hour and start putting the lures in. You're out past Lawrence Rock.
Unreal.
Chuck the lures in, and I think Mitch's fish caught by Pete Ryan on board his charter went about 92. It was just under that 100 kilo mark. I think it was 92. So
big fish.
They're good fish.
So great fish.
And I'm tipping the boat ramp might be a little bit quieter than Hastings and Stony Point.
Correct.
As soon as we get some good weather, it's amazing the tradies, how they get days off, RDOs in the middle of the week, whenever it's quiet, nice calm water, they just seem to have a day off. And they're able to go fishing. So there you go. There's some hot spots, and I know it's going to be quite wet this Friday and may not be the ideal weather this weekend, but get out there when you can. Seriously, the next couple of weeks, get out there with your tuna lures, whether it's Flinders Bank, whether it's Portland, take advantage of the fantastic fishing there is out there right now. The other thing adds, and it's not a hot spot in general, but we get quite a few windy days now. The northerlies are coming up, the westerlies are coming up. When you've got a bit of west in there, particularly on our side of the Bay Trolley, it's good for land-based snapper, isn't it?
Well, it's the best. It's the best. Basically, in our neck of the woods there, if it doesn't blow westerly or northwesterly, I know some land-based fishing guys there that will not go. And the harder it blows, the better it is. It just churns up the coastline.
Yep.
You got the waves crashing to the rocks, basically creating a natural burley trail. The snapper enjoy the cover. They'll come shooting in really close.
Yep.
And it's the sole reason last season the land-based fishing on the Peninsula was quite average. We didn't get the westerlies.
Yeah.
We didn't get them all season. So it sounds weird, a fisherman asking for wind, but if it is going to blow, a westerly would be nice, please. Just putting my order in now.
Now, bait-wise, Ads, this time of year, do you do anything different, or do you do anything different than boat fishing? Like, is it just a pilly on a hook? Is it silver whiting? What is it?
It's baits are generally the same, but leave your pilchers at home. Because you're fishing such turbulent water and quite rough terrain, those pilchers don't last. You'll try and bang out a decent cast into the wind and the pilchard's almost gone before it hits the water. Hardy baits, cuttlefish, brilliant. Squid, brilliant. Silver whiting, Tommy rough yakkers, brilliant. Those harder, more tougher baits, definitely the way to go. But seriously, you cannot go past a beautiful white flesh cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And people asked, we were using cuttlefish for whiting this week, and people were saying, oh, where do you get cuttlefish? And most people say, well, you go out and catch them, but you can actually buy them in good bait shops.
Yeah, you can buy them now. And another thing that's coming quite readily available, octopus.
Yep.
Great bait. As long as you've got an exposed white flesh, peel them back, beautiful.
Yep. There you go. That's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, we'll tell you about the one rare day where you won't need a fishing licence to go fishing in Victoria. We debate graphite versus fiberglass rods next week, and plenty more. If you're heading out fishing this week, make sure you pack the camera. We'd love to see your fishing photos. Until we see you again on Talking Fishing, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.